In one of our lectures, we have studied two access specifiers, private and public. But we know this that we have three access specifiers in total. We also have the protected access specifier. But we haven't studied protected access specifier because we need to have the basic knowledge of inheritance in order to understand protected access specifier. Now we have the basic understanding of inheritance. This is the right time to study protected access specifier. In this lecture, we will properly understand what is protected access specifier and how to use it in C++ programs. So without any further delay, let's get started with this lecture and let's see what are the topics. The first topic is Introduction to Protected Access Specifier. First, I will introduce you to Protected Access Specifier. Then we will move to the second topic, where through an example, we will understand how to use Protected Access Specifier in C++ programs. So these are the topics. Let's start with the first one, Introduction to Protected Access Specifier. We know this already that C++ supports three access specifiers in total: public, private, and protected. We also know this that members defined as public are accessible everywhere. Members that are defined under the public access specifier are available to everyone. On the other hand, members defined as private are accessible only inside the class. The members that we define under the private access specifier are accessible only inside the class where they are defined. We already know these two access specifiers. We have studied them before. Now, what about protected access specifier? What about the members that we define under the protected access specifier? Members defined as protected are accessible inside the class where they are defined and inside the derived classes. So just like private access specifier, members defined as protected are accessible inside the class where they are defined. But unlike private access specifier, they are also accessible inside the derived classes. I am talking about the derived classes of the class where the protected members are defined. I hope this is clear to you. Also, protected members are not accessible outside the class hierarchy. So we cannot access protected members anywhere else. We can only access protected members inside the class where they are defined and inside the derived classes, not in any other class or any other function. So these are the points that we have understood properly, and I hope with these points, the difference between these specifiers is also clear to you. Now let's make it more clear with the help of an example. Here is the example. Let's say we have the class called base. Inside the class, we have these members A, B, and C. Member A is the private member of this class, B is the public member of this class, and C is the protected member of this class. Now let us assume we also have one more class in our program, and the name of the class is derived. It is derived from the class base as mentioned over here. This means this class inherits from the class base. Now here I'm trying to access variables A, B, and C that are defined in this class. Is it possible to access all these members? See, we cannot access variable A because it is private in this class. We cannot access it here. That's why I have mentioned this cross over here. But we can access members B and C. There is no problem here. Public member can be accessed anywhere in the program. That is why we can access this member inside this class also. And we can also access this protected member inside this class, because we already know this, that the protected member defined inside the class is accessible in that class, and it is also accessible in the derived classes of the class where it is defined. So we can access this protected member inside this class. There is no problem at all. Now let us assume we want to access these members with the help of the object of this class inside the main function. Can we do this? Think about it. Let's check it out. Here we have this main function. Let's say this is the main function, and inside this function, object obj of class base is defined. Now here, through this object, I am trying to access variables a, b, and c that are defined in this class. We cannot access the private member outside this class, so there is no way we can access this member. So we will get error because of this access. Also, we cannot access this protected member inside the main function. This protected member is also not accessible inside the main function through the object of this class, because protected members can only be accessed in the class where they are defined and in the derived classes, not inside the main function. I hope this idea is clear to you. So that is why, because of this line, we will get error from the compiler. We can easily access the member B because it is the public member. So with this example, I hope it is completely clear to you what is the difference between public, private, and protected access specifiers. Now let's combine these code snippets and form a complete program. For this purpose, we need to move to the next topic. For now, we are done with the first topic, that is Introduction to Protected Access Specifier. Now let's move to the second topic, where we will consider the complete program of the code snippets we just saw. Here is the complete program. Here I've defined this class base with these three members as already seen before. Here is the class derived with the public member function display that allows us to display the values of B and C. We can access members B and C of this class. We already know the reason. Inside the main function, I have defined object obj of class base. And through this object, I'm trying to access all the three members. But we can only access the member B, this is what we know. That is why I have commented these two lines, so that when we execute this program, we will not get error from the compiler. Also here, I have defined the object of the derived class obj2, and through this object, I am calling the display function. We know what happens when we execute this program. When we execute this program, we will get this output, 2020, then space, and then value 30. We are getting the first 20 because of obj.b. We know variable b is holding value 20. And we know that through the display function, we will again get the value of b, which is 20. There is no space between these two values, that is why we are seeing them together. After this, we have space over here, that is why we are seeing this space. And then after this, value of C will be displayed. That is why we are seeing this value 30. So with this program, I hope this is clear to you what is protected access specifier and how we can use protected access specifier in our C++ programs. So with this, we are done with the second topic also, and this means we are done with this lecture. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this lecture. I will see you in the next one.